Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a modern bakery for all of your city building needs. This is the amount of space required to make your build. Feel free to make this grid in your world if you do feel as though it will help you out. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin on the front left hand corner of your grid and count to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then inwards 1, 2, 3. Begin by placing a brick on the ground and then 5 black concrete right of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place a brick on the opposite side and then extend the brick backwards by 2. 1, 2. Place a black concrete right of that brick and then place 3 glass right of the black concrete. 1, 2, 3. Place a black concrete, leave a gap of 2, or destroy a row of 2 in the ground, as we will have to later anyway. And then place a brick on the opposite side, extend it 1 row forwards, and then place 6 yellow terracotta on top of that brick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then extend left by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To which we then want to extend down by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then extend all the way back to the right. We can even fill this in using white concrete, as we would have to do that later anyway. And then from here, we can extend the bottom left-hand corner block of the yellow terracotta that we placed. Extend this out to the left by 1, add another block on top, join it down to the ground, extend it 1 row forwards, extend the top block to the left, and join it down to the brick that we very first started with. We also want to take this area and place black concrete on the left and right sides. We're going to place 1, 2, and 1, 2, like this. We then want to grab a material that I'm almost 100% positive is not in that chest. We need to use smooth quartz stairs, and we want to place upside down smooth quartz stairs in front of this window area, and notice how the upside down stairs on the ends, I want them to curve back into the actual building. So you could have it facing this way, but make sure that the end blocks are placed sideways like this. We're then going to place glass block in front of the empty space in between the 2 rows of black concrete with glass pane on these sides. It kind of gives like a cool window, like it kind of looks curved like a bay window, I think. We're then going to fill the above area in using yellow terracotta, and then on top of the glass area, a mixture of yellow wool and white wool, in that order, extending across the top of the glass. We're also going to extend up the 3 center blocks using whichever blocks they might be, so yellow on top of yellow, white on top of white. We are going to grab the string back, and we might as well do this now, despite the fact that we do have to use these materials later on also. In front of the top of the window, we're going to place string, and then corresponding with the wool that is behind it, we want to place that coloured carpet. So we will end up with something that should look like that. And just to the right here, the entrance area, we want to raise up the black concrete blocks, each by 2 to meet the frame. Glass in between these 2 rows of black concrete. We want to have yellow terracotta just all the way up the side here. It actually doesn't end up looking like this, so we'll just raise the terracotta up as high as the black concrete. The doorway, so this is where the door goes, right? But we actually want to extend the doorway backwards an additional row, so extend the black concrete, one row back, and then across at the top like this, and that's like where the door wants to be, so where I've just destroyed those 2 blocks here. And then ultimately later on we will be placing the ceiling, and that'll kind of pull things together. But for now, this is looking pretty good. Okay, moving on. Grab the bricks and extend the brick that we have here on the right side of the build backwards by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can then place yellow terracotta on top of these bricks, and we want this to be 3 rows high in total, so that would be 1, 2, 3, and this just wants to be left sticking up in a single row. So across the back of the build, we are going to place a row of 7 bricks extending from the bottom, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then on top of this specifically 4 yellow terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, extending up. We then want to extend to the right by 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and what that will allow us to do is connect all the way back to the front. And we can even join this corner block down as well and stick a brick under it, and we can extend the bricks across the back. And we can create a window if we place yellow terracotta here on the side, on the right side. We can then place a 2x2 square of glass just next to it. Fill the entire shape of this in using yellow terracotta, and then on this side, so this it's ever so slightly different, so you can see that there is a bit of a dip, and that is completely intentional. And you can even join this yellow terracotta here that is ever so slightly higher to the front of the build just like that. So that's perfect. And we are now going to move around a little bit, and we are going to focus on this side. So on this side of the build, there isn't too much detail. There is a doorway. This is on the back. It's actually a double door, and it starts literally right away. So on the opposite side of leave just a gap of 2 here, we then just want to place bricks extending to the front of the build, and then fill the remaining area here in using just yellow terracotta. And we want to fill this in with yellow terracotta as well, but we want enough room for a double door, of course. So there is also an area on the side, kind of like an outdoor eating area, and we want to, from the back corner here, dig a row in the ground. 1, 2, whoops, 1, and then that would be 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to fill this in using black concrete. We take the 6th block and we want to extend it forwards, line it up with the front of the build where the bricks end, and then go 3 rows further, so 1, 2, 3 like this. And we're going to fill this in with black concrete also. And then we're going to extend this across, so we're going to line this up. I think that we'll just line it up with the... Let's line it up with the actual brick of the building itself, so we'll be able to just sneak in this area a little bit. And there we go, that's pretty much all we have to have for that right now. The next thing that we have to do, I think, is a little bit of time-lapsing. So we have to do a few very simple things, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we have to remove the floor of the bakery, the grass or stone or whatever it might be for you. We are going to remove that floor and replace it with polished deep slate and polished diorite. Not everybody's favourite materials, but I think in combination, when used in a checkered pattern, I think it looks really cool. So remove the floor, replace it with a mixture of those 2 materials, and that will look fantastic. Next, we have to make the ceiling. The ceiling's very simple. We want to leave 3 rows gap between the floor and the ceiling, and we are going to simply make the ceiling out of quartz bricks. That simply just spans the entire build, on the inside of course, and that's all there is to it. Once that has been done, we are going to add some pavement to the actual front of the build, and also on the side as well, and that's just so that we have a nice looking seating area and of course a pavement that we can walk in and out of the bakery from. Last but not least, I'm going to do something to the roof. I think that I'm just going to make it like look a little bit tidier using the yellow terracotta. Feel free to do some sort of combination of what I'm doing, or feel free to copy it, or feel free to do, you know, whatever you like to it. I don't think it's too important. I was very close to just completely filling the top in with yellow terracotta, but I've kind of made a little pattern and it kind of like syncs up with like the shape of the window and stuff, and I'm quite happy leaving that as it is. With those simple changes made, what we are now able to do is focus more on the details of the outside and the inside. So first of all, the outside. We are going to place poppies directly in front of the glass of the window next to the entrance. I also want to place oak leaves just in the corner here, just left of the poppies. I'm going to dig around the poppies and replace it with podzol because I think it looks a little bit more interesting. I also want to create a hedge on the right side of the build, so it's literally just going to sit on the right side of the build and just extend backwards and maybe even around it. It doesn't really matter too much as long as it doesn't interrupt the seating area that we have outside. So next up, we are going to make a little advertisement board. I place these on pretty much everything. I love these things. Hovering off the ground one row, we want to have a black concrete. Underneath it, spruce fence gate. On the sides of it, we want to have spruce trapdoors. And then above it, on top of it, we want to have once again a spruce trapdoor and an item frame in it, and a cake, or whatever it is that you would like to advertise for your bakery. I think that the cake is 100% perfect. On the left side of the build here, we have a large seating area, don't we? Well, in this seating area, we first of all will need some black stained glass pane. We'll need the polished deep slate stairs, scaffolding, flower pot, lantern, brown glazed terracotta, oak leaves, and, well, that's pretty much it. I guess that we also need spruce doors, but... Oh, and also we'll need string. Actually, we need a few things, don't we? So, we're placing black stained glass pane on top of the black concrete, so just all the way around like this. We have to lay out the actual, well, we have to do the layout, so this is going to be quite easy. Right next to this entrance here at the back, we're going to have just a double spruce door, but next to that, 2 brown glazed terracotta, and then a little seating area, so it'll be a stair, scaffolding, stair. And then another couple of brown glazed terracotta, and then it will once again be stair, scaffolding, stair, like this. And the stairs and scaffolding want to pop an additional row outwards. And we want to have a couple of rows of leaves on top of the brown glazed terracotta. And wherever you fancy, in what particular order you like, I'm just placing flower pots and lanterns on the tables. So opposite these 2 tables here, we are going to have just single tables placed directly against the glass. So these these single tables, as I was trying to say, I kept trying to say simple. These single tables are literally just 2 rows away from the original, and they are just 1 row shorter. In this corner here, we are going to have like a little booth, and that's just going to be a bunch of stairs just placed around, and then just a giant table just in the middle, and just a bunch of flower pots, a couple of lanterns. You guys get the idea by now. So above the entire area, we want to place carpet. So to facilitate us placing the carpet, we must first of all place string. So the carpet layer is going to be, and I'm just going to place it now. The carpet layer, it basically just sits on top of where we have the leaves. So if you just place a layer of carpet, first of all, just on top of the leaves, and then you can kind of just extrapolate from there, it's just like a big giant canopy. You don't really need to have this if you don't want to. This is more of a design choice, you know, there's no like reason, I suppose, but it does just look cool, I think, and it kind of just it adds a little bit of intrigue to an area that I don't think had it already. But I think that adding the canopy, like, it's almost a little bit secretive. So like you see that, and it's like, hey, what's under there? Whereas Without the canopy, it's like, oh look, a seating area. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. I think it kind of adds an extra little level of detail, but we're basically just placing it in stripes, the same sort of way that we've kind of like decorated the front window, and eventually, this is a lot of carpet, isn't it? Eventually we will hit the front and we will have something which should look like that. See, it just kind of, to me, it does just add like a little extra something, but you might not like it. It's completely up to you. So we can also add a door to the actual entrance, so that's going to be a double spruce door just here, and a bell above the door, and we want to have that same bell on the inside as well. So that's pretty much the entire outside made, except for the banner, but I think that we're going to leave that until last anyway. Briskly moving inside of the build, opposite this double doorway, we want to have a couple of brown glazed terracottas against this wall with leaves on top of the terracotta. Next to this, we want to have black concrete from floor to ceiling and then extend up an additional row. Across the back of the build here, we want to build up using either oak planks or oak slabs as we have them. I'd prefer to use planks. We want to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a black concrete on the end, extend the black concrete upwards. In the center of this, we also want to have black concrete, and all of the rows of black concrete want to get extended forwards. And we're going to fill the backs of these in using oak planks. So now that we've done that, we are going to take the right side and extend the right side forwards by 1, 2, 3, like this. And we can do the same on the left, like 1, 2, 3. I should mention, if it's not obvious already, that this is going to be like the counter space, like where people buy things from and pay for things. So it takes up a good chunk of the room. We're going to extend the black concrete here on the right across 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the right side of this, we want to have a row of oak slabs that just extends on top of the black concrete. And then behind the black concrete as well, 1, 2, 3, 4 white concrete, just literally directly behind it. And we are going to place glass paint on top of the black concrete like this. And we want an oak trap door here just next to it. So this is basically the entrance behind the counter so that we can flip that up and down. Along this back wall, we want to have a couple of furnaces. We then want to have a material that I don't have on me. We need bricks. And we want to use brewing stands, flower pot, tripwire hook, lever. We need the detector rail, which how have I not got all of these things in my inventory? I literally spent ages just gathering these things. And we need the spruce trapdoor as well. So the furnaces are to go on the bottom of the left side here, so obviously so that we can cook the produce in here. And above this, it's just going to be a double wide shelf using spruce trapdoor. To the right, a couple of bricks in between the bottom of the black concrete, brewing stand, detect rail. We want a lever, a tripwire hook, just like this. And we can have a flower pot just on this shelf as well. And this is where a bit of light's going to come in. We're going to place a lantern here. And then we have a bunch of decorating to do. So we're going to need the paintings. All of the stuff basically now as well. So like the cakes, the cookies, the bread, the pumpkin pie, all of the sort of sweet stuff that you can kind of like gather together. We also need the item frames, of course, and maybe even lanterns and also some glass pane and maybe even the black concrete as well. So on the counter space, we're just going to stack liberally like cake and item frames with like bread in and pumpkin pie and just loads of cakes, bunches of item frames with just all sorts of stuff in, and wherever you can kind of like just stick it around this counter space, that's exactly what we're going to do. On this wall here, I want to have a couple of paintings, so specifically 2x2s, or 2x1s I should say. you know what? It's so unlikely that we would have got the same painting. I'm actually going to keep it. So just a couple of paintings on this side will look quite good, I think. Now that we've kind of like finished this area, there's a window display as well. So I'm just, how do I deal with this area? There's like a window display. So first of all, I'm just going to extend this bay window like maybe just a couple of rows backwards. Maybe that's how I deal with it, just with more black concrete. So a couple of rows backwards. And do we want to replace the... So we'll have like maybe like a row of white concrete and then a row of black concrete. Actually, that we can just place it there, actually. My bad. So let's just add an additional row of black concrete directly behind this window. And then in this window, we can just stack stuff that we want to sell, and then literally just directly behind that we can have a glass pane. So it's just like a pretty cool window display. It makes more impact from the outside, of course. And then on this side wall here, we are going to have kind of just an indoor seating area. So we'll need the polished deep slate, the scaffolding, the lanterns, the flower pots. And can you place cake on scaffolding? I suppose we're about to find out. And paintings, and we'll probably make another plant. So the plant can go right next to the door, a couple of glazed terracotta with oak leaves above, and it kind of helps to funnel you out of this door. And then stairs in front of the plant pots, scaffolding, polished deep slate stairs, lantern, and then shall we see? You cannot place cake on scaffolding, that's unfortunate, but flower pot on there. And we're not going to have anything in this corner, that's going to be just fine. Maybe we can just stick a nice little painting. And that is pretty much the entire inside made, ladies and gentlemen. You might want to stick like a lantern just on the right side here, but it's kind of got like a nice mood lighting in here as is, so I'm probably not going to do anything else with it. The only thing that we have to make is the dreaded sign. So the dreaded sign, as it is named, we're just going to write the word bakery. So we need a loom, we need white banners, we need black dye, and we also need white dye. We're going to begin by throwing the loom on the ground, opening it up, and placing a white banner in there with some black dye. The first letter that we have to make is B, so that's a vertical row of black on the left, the right, and then a horizontal pattern through the top, middle, and bottom, and that will give you B. The next letter is A. It's actually very simple as well. So vertical on the left, vertical row of black on the right, horizontal through just the top and the middle, and there you go. You have A. Next is K. So a vertical row of black on the left side, and then we simply want to place both diagonals just like that. Top right corner to bottom left, and top left corner to bottom right. Next will be E. So E is a vertical row of black on the left, and then a horizontal row through the top, middle, and bottom. And there you have E. Next is R, another simple letter, so a vertical row of black on the left, horizontal on the top, and then top left corner to bottom right corner will give you R. Next is Y, so this is a diagonal row of black, top left corner to bottom right corner, grab that, put that back in, throw white in there, make the lower half of the banner white, grab that, put that back in, put black in there instead, and then make the opposite diagonal. So top right corner to bottom left corner, and there you have the word bakery, which we simply want to place in the white concrete area above the door. B-A-K-E-R-Y. Easy peasy. And once you have done that, ladies and gentlemen, you have actually 100% fully completed your build. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. Please like and subscribe, and click that little bell next to the subscription button to make sure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.